Hey everyone, welcome to our Wrestling Smack Talk. I am Kaori Takei, and joining me as always is the lovely Ann Campia.
Hey everybody.
And we make Team Amasian, and today we are going to talk about Night 1 and Night 2 of Wrestlemania, what we thought, the results, and what each person's belt means to us in terms of predictions and what we think is going to happen with SmackDown, Raw, and NXT as a result of all of that. In the meantime, guys, don't forget to press that thumbs up button. If it exists, yes, it does, because we're doing this as well on the YouTube channel. And, before we get into wrestling, other than wrestling, for you guys to get to know us a little better, we want to tell you what we've been up to. And I'm really pouncing on Anne because she had no idea I was going to do this. We've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing.
Yes. And that's been a nice kind of reprieve from the quarantine life that I'm sure 90% of us are living right now.
And let me tell you that previous Animal Crossings, I was never that into. I got over it pretty quick. But this one, there's something about it. And I don't know if it's the vibe of what's happening right now, but it's very therapeutic. And it's nice to get to visit Anne's house.
Yes.
Via the interwebs.
Yeah, no, I agree. It gives you a means to connect, even though we're all isolated. And I have always loved Animal Crossing. It's been one of those games that I've kind of stuck with throughout the years. So it's really nice to see with every evolution of the game that it becomes more and more of just a very nice open world that you can do whatever you want. I mean, the tasks are mundane. In real life, they would be really mundane. I would probably not want to pick weeds all day, but for some reason in the game, you're just wanting to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's very taskful, to say the least. So so we've been up to Animal Crossing. I myself, I don't work from home, but I do have some group sessions Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. All are welcome for some virtual training. It's a great way to connect with people and to work out. Now, during that session, you're going to feel tired, but you always feel great after it as well. So I recommend coming to visit that as well. And Anne, is there anything else you're up to?
No, I think I join in on the boot camps as well. And they're, like Corey said, a great way to connect, a great way to stay motivated. I'm sure the wrestlers are having to do what they need to do to stay in shape while not being able to, go to the performance center or go to do their typical training. So I'd be curious to see what how all of the wrestlers are maintaining their fitness as well.
For sure. Yeah. And I would say that the difference between working out with virtual training versus copying a Beachbody boot camp is you are interacting with people as well. You get to respond, whereas sometimes with virtual training boot camps that are not interactive, you're watching a video and it might just kind of shut you off. Like, oh, no one's going to see me sitting down and taking longer breaks than usual and stuff.
Right. That's a good point.
Anyway, so back to wrestling. Now let's talk, because I haven't really talked to Anne about what I thought about these past two nights. So I'm really excited to be chatting up about it. But we're going to go down the list from night 1 and then night 2. So first off is night 1. And I'm going to disclaim that I'm going to skip the pre-show matches.
Yes.
I did not watch those. So
Same.
Okay. So you guys can tell us what you thought of night 1, Cesaro versus the Drew Gulak match. Unfortunately, I didn't see that. All I know is Cesaro won, and I'm happy about that. That guy is jacked.
All the time. Like, no fat on that body.
I'm like, wait, this has to be a genetic error turned god creature.
Yeah. I mean, typically when you see big built guys, like Bobby Lashley comes to mind, right? Like really big built guys. The thing that stands out about Cesaro for me is his back is just toned, and you could tell there's muscles on his back. And I don't typically see that even on like the bigger fit guys.
Right. He's like a different kind of fit.
Yeah.
Like his muscles work out while he's sleeping and has muscles.
Right.
It's just really strange.
We could probably have a whole podcast.
I know, podcast. Cesaro's muscles. What are you drinking and eating?
Yes, please tell us.
Yes.
We would like to copy. Thank you.
Anyway, so let's move on to the first match of the night in the actual show, Women's Tag Team Championship, we have the Kabuki Warriors,
AKA Team Amasian.
AKA, yes, versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. So end result was Bliss and Cross defeat the Kabuki Warriors, making them the new tag team female champions. I would say very enjoyable match. It was pretty long, actually.
Yeah.
They really held on.
Yep.
And I love Alexa Bliss, but the Kabuki Warriors, for a empty arena, they really delivered. So I was really happy to see, especially Asuka. It's like the crowd doesn't even need to be there. You know, she's just going for it. And like they really, it's like the creatives told them, you're going to be these people. And they're like, all right, we're going to be these people. It's fine. You know, and they like eat it up.
Oh, totally. It's like 110% they put into it. I mean, I think a lot of the wrestlers are adapting to the no crowd environment, and some of them adapt better. And I think Asuka's one of those, like you're saying, that doesn't need an audience to be cheering loud. She's putting in the work. She's making sure her wrestling is on par, and she's putting in the extra effort to show personality while she's doing it. So it makes it really, really entertaining. Whereas I think some wrestlers are struggling to find that balance where they fed off the crowd a lot and can't necessarily hold up when there's no audience watching. So I did really like this match.
Me too.
I thought it was great. It was, like you said, I think it was over half an hour.
Yeah, it's long.
Both teams killed it. I actually believe I had Kabuki Warriors winning this one. So I didn't get that right.
I think I had them winning for this one as well. I'm disappointed that they didn't win. But so long as they don't dismantle them as a tag team, I'm going to be okay with it. Because I just think they work so well together. At least right now, that's the tag team vigor I want to see in people.
Oh, yeah. Totally. That's so true. Does that mean, is Nikki Cross in the main card now?
Yes.
Officially? Okay.
Yeah, she's been in there for a little bit.
Got it.
Yeah. Alexa Bliss is kind of her duo.
Yeah.
Well, now, obviously. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, Raw always has new things, especially the night after WrestleMania. I don't even know, are they taping that? I actually didn't look into seeing if there is a Monday after Raw.
I thought they did. I would have to double check, but I thought they had taped at least the Raw and the SmackDown that follow WrestleMania, but then went ahead and canceled the rest of like April live events. So I'm not sure how they're handling the recordings.
All right. Well, let's move on to King Corbin versus Elias. Not a long match, rightfully so. Elias is all right. King Corbin is really good at making you hate him because I really can't stand him, and he does it so well. But Elias defeats Corbin. Clap, clap, clap. Yeah.
I actually thought Corbin was going to win.
Me too. I think I put Corbin.
Yeah, I'm glad Elias won. I was a little bit surprised by that. The match was really short. They had Michael Cole and JBL commentating, which was kind of cool because when I was kind of doing something while this match was on, and then I heard the voice, and I'm like, that's JBL?
Yeah, right?
Like, that was unexpected, so that was kind of nice to have him there.
He kept coming in throughout intermittently in different matches as well, so it was kind of cool to see him back.
Do you think this impacts any storyline for Elias or Corbin, or is this kind of just one
I could be wrong, but I feel like it might be a little ongoing.
Okay.
But what do you think?
I mean, I think so too. I just don't know that I care is the fallout of that.
I guess the thing is different strokes for different folks, right? Some people really like, I don't know who, Elias and Corbin.
Yeah.
So, all right, next we had for the Raw Women's Championship, Becky Lynch versus Shayna. I did put Shayna, and I put Becky Lynch. And, of course, surprise, surprise, maybe there's some sarcasm there. Becky wins. What do you think?
I also not surprised. I think we had a great conversation about this in last week's podcast that I think there's a lot of fans that love Becky Lynch. I am not one of those. And it's really, I think I said this last week, it's primarily because her persona is really lifted from Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I'm just so partial to Austin having that personality. When she came in that big truck that had like the wrap of her face on it, and I don't know. It's not the same as like Austin coming in on a Zamboni, or Austin coming in a big truck, or Austin coming in a big F-150. I don't know. Maybe it's just becoming too much of a carbon copy that it's not her own personality anymore. Yeah,
it's okay to kind of look at someone's persona and take it as a blueprint. But if you're going to clone them, then those expectations as viewers, spectators, are going to be really high. And that's why it's a difficult path to take. And it just, for me, it doesn't work. Like, to the point where she's the man and not the woman. Mm-hmm. And that's just frustrating for me. As a woman, I want her to be the woman. Right? Like, represent us.
Right, of course.
Not like, I'm so good that I don't have to be a woman. I'm actually a man. It's like, what is that?
I love that point. You make that.
It just drives me nuts.
You made it time and time again. It totally makes sense. I totally see why you would feel that way.
And for me, what this looks like is Shayna, she was NXT Women's Champ for 2 years or something like that. She comes into Raw, still titled under the NXT brand, and she loses. So what does that make her look like? Where does that put her if she's going to go into the main roster? That makes her look bad. Like, Becky didn't need this win.
No, you're absolutely right. Does nothing for Becky in terms of launching her. She's already there. She's way above where she needs to be. This would have been a great match for Lynch to give to Shayna, just to give her that push, because now she's lost at WrestleMania. Then she lost at Raw. Right. So how do you then throw her into the main card without her being an underdog?
Yeah, she lost to Rhea Ripley. So, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, it would have been okay, I think, if Becky lost through some form of like someone interference, or someone came in, or there was some kind of disqualification. That would have worked better for me. But it kind of makes me wonder what they're going to do with Shayna now, which maybe they want us to wonder about.
Yeah, she might be getting buried, which that would really suck, because I think she's a good wrestler. I think the match itself was pretty good. I just didn't like how Lynch just overturned Shayna's move and pinned her so fast. I actually thought, I was like, wait, it's over? Right. I couldn't believe it.
And that's exactly how I felt when Becky Lynch won last year at WrestleMania as the main event. Like, she flipped Ronda Rousey over and it was done out of nowhere. I was like, whew. But Ronda did so many moves that would have annihilated her.
Yes. That's what I didn't get.
That's just frustrating to me.
Same thing again.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm sorry, guys.
I know. Here we go. We should have like another podcast specifically about the man.
Right.
Anyway. Okay, now let's talk about the IC Championship. Sami Zayn, who I love, and Daniel Bryan. So these guys are really good performers and really, really good wrestlers and talented, but they didn't get to perform in that caliber in this particular match because there was so much interference with Cesaro and Nakamura and what's his face? I forgot his name.
The guy that looks like Drew Gulak. Yeah. The guy that looks like Daniel Bryan.
I think it was Drew Gulak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes. Zayn ends up defeating Bryan, which is great, and that was something I predicted because Bryan has mentioned, rumor has it, I don't have any sources obviously, that he is kind of done being full-timer in wrestling. Mm-hmm. So that made sense from a creative standpoint and how to make that happen for him, if that is the case. And I'm happy to see Zayn win. And overall, I was entertained. And, they obviously, again, they didn't get to really be in the ring as hot and heavy as we would like to see, but it was good. What do you think, Anne?
Yeah, I have the same sentiment. I think I wanted Zayn to win, but I picked Daniel Bryan. I didn't like the, what was it, 10 minutes of kind of running in and out of the ring at the beginning. There was a lot of antics like that, which was also funny, but after some time, I'm like, come on, just freaking wrestle already. But when they actually did get to the wrestling part, it was a pretty good match. So I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit, despite having all of the interruptions from
Yeah.
they're friends. But we knew that was going to happen when both of them were escorted by this big posse. So
It's just so interesting because we have Cesaro, who is just an amazing, amazing talent. And we also have Nakamura, who, at some point had a belt. And now they're valeting, and it's kind of strange to me.
it is odd.
Yeah, right?
It's a hodgepodge. It is. I thought the same thing when they came out. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but I'll go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Obviously, we're going to go with it because we're going to be talking about this every week, right? All right, next up, we have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. We had the return of John Morrison since the Royal Rumble, of course, versus Kofi Kingston versus Jimmy Uso for a ladder match. Each of them were representing their team for the tag team title. John Morrison ends up winning for his team. And what do you think?
I love this match, actually.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was odd that they just had one representative of the tag team.
Me too, but
to
it makes
try to get the title.
sense in a way.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you had all six of them plus the kind of the side band of the New Day, then you would have way too many people in the ring at the same time. I think from a circumstances be as they are today, maybe that was also part of the decision, was to not have that many wrestlers in the ring. Mm-hmm. But it was a really good match. I thought anytime you have to throw a ladder in there and have people try to climb the ladder and compete to get the belts, it's always going to be fun. I actually didn't know who was going to win until Morrison fell and the belts fell with him. That's where I was like, oh crap, they won.
Yeah, I didn't really have a solid decision when it came to that. I think in our predictions,
Who did you pick? I picked Usos because
I don't think I picked Usos. I think there was another group that wasn't in this.
You're right. I don't think it was originally Morrison.
Right. I could be wrong because
You're right.
Right. So I think it was the other group that I predicted was going to win.
Which, and technically then, because John Morrison slotted into that slot, you did get it right.
I guess. I like that.
Nice job.
Here's a star, Kaori. Alrighty. Then we have my list. Sorry.
No worries. I've got the 24/7 championship.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Talk about the 24/7 championship.
So, how do you even feel about this belt? I don't think we've talked about it.
I love it.
You do?
It's really entertaining. It's ridiculous. It's a throwback, and it actually kind of works. It puts wrestlers that we haven't seen into a fun, entertaining light, and it doesn't have to be long.
Right. Or so serious. Right. So it could be in an instant. What's his name? Oh my God, the DJ won it. That one.
R-Truth?
No.
Is your DJ?
Marshmallow, I think, won it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, like it could be anybody.
So it is kind of funny that it's so random. But we had Rob Gronkowski and Mojo Rawley. They were celebrating. R-Truth came out. Gronk punched him and pinned R-Truth. I had a feeling they were going to do something for Gronk. You know, he's such a big fan. He's coming in to try to host, which we haven't talked about what you thought about him as being kind of the main MC for the event. But I figured they were going to throw him a bone and give him a belt or let him have a match or something like that.
Yeah. Well, right at that point, Raleigh won.
Yeah.
Which is obviously Raleigh.
And sorry, yes.
Is their boy.
Next night.
She's going next night.
Yeah, sorry.
It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. So,
spoiler.
It was fine. It was kind of fine. So we can move on.
Okay. Moving on.
Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Good match. Owens wins. I think I predicted Owens. I think we both said we want Owens to win. And I'm happy with this match. It was formidable. It was good. Showcased each and every one of their talents. They're really good going up against each other, I have to say. What do you think, Anne?
Yeah. No, I love KO. I love the matchup. I think that they are very equal.
Yes.
And they both go all out. They're not afraid to take bumps. I mean, Owens jumping off the WrestleMania sign was a highlight.
That's crazy.
And then, Seth getting DQ'd and then Owens calling him back into the ring to finish the fight was awesome. Them two is the perfect example of how you can create energy and something special on camera without having the audience. I think this was the
Yes.
first match I felt like, oh, you don't need the audience here. They were so good. They were shit talking the whole time. The moves were on point. It was so entertaining,
Yeah.
the match. I think all around it was really great. I'm digging Seth Rollins' gimmick. I don't know if you care for the Messiah angle, but I do.
I don't care for it, but I have to say, and I hop on your idea and agree with you that this is a case where not having a loud audience actually worked for them because you can actually hear them shit talking
Yeah.
and see what they're saying to each other. And you're like,
Right.
oh, I'm getting more and more invested into why these people think that they're right, you know? So, yeah, I think that kind of elevated the match is how good they are on the mic as well. Kevin Owens is just flawless every time he speaks. To me, he's hands down one of the top 3 in WWE right now. Every time he gets on the mic, you are just intrigued and invested into what he has to say. If you follow him on Twitter, he's very clever and witty. He's hilarious.
Oh, I'm doing that right now.
So yeah, overall the match was really well rounded with the wrestlers and the smack talk and the wrestling itself. And yeah, okay. So now let's go to the Universal Championship with Goldberg versus Braun Strowman. Surprise, surprise, the fill-in was Braun Strowman. Not a very long match.
No, surprisingly. I don't know. Maybe I don't know why I expected
thought it was going to
that.
be long.
I mean, Brock's been in some long matches, so I just, for some reason, I thought it was going to be longer than it was.
Yeah.
Probably not even half an hour, I don't think.
Yeah. Goldberg.
Or sorry, not Brock, Goldberg.
Sorry.
Sorry.
We think about Gold. I was like, wait,
Who is she talking about?
I was like, wait, was it Brock versus
God damn it.
Braun Strowman? Which WrestleMania
Maybe
did I watch?
Maybe that's the match I had in my dream.
I know. I'm like, where are we right now? Okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. Goldberg versus Braun. By the way, I always misspell Strowman. I always want to spell it Strowman, like his first name. It's so weird. Anyway, you suspect. I was surprised because I think I put Goldberg for the win because I thought, why the hell would he come back out of retirement to lose? And Strowman doesn't need any kind of push, especially after his tweet-a-thon, I guess. But
Oh, God. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Check out our podcast from last week if you want to hear about that.
But yeah, Strowman hits a couple power slams, kicks Goldberg's ass at the end. So, I mean, that really...
The end.
I mean, that
So
really
true.
makes Strowman looks really good because last time Goldberg came out and he pinned excuse my French. I mean, he pinned Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So-
So that, whatever.
Wow, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Right?
I think story-wise, does it do anything for either of them? I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't need
Maybe.
it. We didn't need the match at all.
Agreed.
Like, we just didn't.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
I mean, it would have been more entertaining if Goldberg came in during a Brock Lesnar match and, like, interfered and hit Brock Lesnar out of nowhere and been like, this was for 2 years ago or whatever, Like, that
Right.
would have been more entertaining to use him, I think.
Right.
Especially if he didn't win.
Yeah. Yeah. I just...
All right. So the main event of night 1 was a boneyard match,
Yep.
all made possible because of creative talent and not having to be in a ring full of all these people. This is
Yeah.
another case where they made it a very cinematic match. We had AJ Styles versus The Undertaker, with The Undertaker being that Undertaker that people have missed so much. And this circumstance made it possible for him to be that Undertaker.
Yeah.
Very long match, very campy, very, very like 70s horror movie, but
So what was
very good.
You loved it?
I think it was good. What do you think?
This is what we've been talking about, right? How are they going to play up other areas of production because you don't have an audience to kind of bring that energy? This was a surprise to me.
Yeah.
They pull up already. The camera looks, the way they're shooting it, cinematography is very different. You can tell it's very theatrical. I ate it up. I ate it up. I was like, how are they going to do this match in the Performance Center? They go outside of the Performance Center, probably just like down the street to a park or something. I don't know. But they staged it really well. I thought they had some moves that they wanted to execute within that environment that played off really well. To your point, campy is such a good word to describe this match, but I ate it up. I loved it. I thought this is Undertaker in his environment. This is what AJ Styles was asking for. He fucking gets buried alive. Like, what more can you ask for?
Right. I mean, it was everything.
A+ on this match, I think.
Now, I wonder how they're going to bring in AJ Styles because he was buried alive.
He's dead.
That's what I want to know.
You know what would be great? I'm going to carry this storyline through.
Let's do it.
Okay. So then Raw or wherever, whatever they're featured on SmackDown, they come out, they wheel out the casket. Everyone thinks it's the Undertaker. And then inside is AJ Styles in full Undertaker garb. He takes on the Undertaker persona, and Mark Calloway can just go home and retire forever. The end.
Hire her now, creative.
There you go.
There you go. All right, well, that wraps up night one. I mean, that was a lot of matches. It's on its own. It's its own pay-per-view.
It's a ton. There was a lot of content. I think I was very unsure how they were going to pull off WrestleMania. I still feel like the matches were the caliber of WrestleMania. Just without the big arena, just without the audience.
Pleasantly surprised. Well, before we go into the second night, let's talk briefly about what you thought about the theme, this pirate theme, and also what you thought of the Gronk as the MC.
I thought I was going to get saturated and really irritated by Gronk hosting. I thought he was just going to be in every match, just going crazy. I think he brought the right level of energy. I think they peppered him in just enough to kind of weave him through night one and night two. I think they did a good job, which we'll talk about also going into night two, is, having Stephanie McMahon intro both evenings. I thought that was an interesting choice, just to kind of level set every night with what you can expect for production. And the theme,
it's kind of weird.
It would have played better if they were actually in Tampa Bay.
The myths and legends, pirates thing was a little off for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to let that slide. I think you're right. Stephanie McMahon kind of introducing what the night's going to look like and trying to convey that this is for safety was good. I really thought that when they said WrestleMania is too big for one night, I was like, oh, that slogan's really clever, you jerks. Really clever.
Yep.
And then Rob Gronkowski, I thought, at the beginning, I was like, oh my God, he's going to be this annoying. But he kind of calmed down really quick and he was just fine. And for what especially now that he's a 24/7 champ.
Right, which I kind of, spoiled for night two. But yes.
That's okay.
I think he did well. He wasn't too over the top like I thought he was going to be.
No. It was good. Okay, so moving on. Night two started with a Liv Morgan, Natalya kickoff, which we're not going to talk about because we did not watch that. Also, Liv Morgan and Natalya. So
I was going to go there, but you went there. So, yep, same feelings.
Well, the thing is, I just feel really bad for Natalya. She is a veteran. She is the women's champ in my heart, in a way.
Yeah.
I can't tell you that I'm entertained by her. I can't tell you that she's got a great gimmick or anything like that, but she's like maybe the John Cena of women. She just goes out there and she's like, you want me to train these women? You want me to help them go over? I'm going to do it for you guys. It's fine.
Yeah, she really puts in work for the company.
She does. So I can't knock her for it, but it makes me feel bad because I think she deserves more sometimes.
Right.
And I think they need to make her go heel or be a different gimmick overall, not this cat lady freak,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. it's hard to figure out what's going to work for you.
Yeah.
But she definitely has the wrestling skills that will keep her going. It's just the gimmick that we need to lock down.
It's just, it didn't work. It doesn't work for her. All right, so the first match of the night coming out of the gates was the NXT Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. This is the one I was waiting for leading up to WrestleMania, so I was kind of surprised that this was the first match out of the gates for night 2. These two women, though, really, really held its own. I felt like the Charlotte entrance was a little eloquent and then too heavy, considering that it was such a small stage, but it's fine. She's the queen, so she gets to do whatever she wants. Flair ends up defeating Ripley at the end after a very long match. I would say it felt like 30 minutes. It was a long match for a first match. And now I'm thinking that's awesome. But what does that mean? Flair's going to have to be going to NXT, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And I think you and I were loving this possibility that this will open up kind of the crossover for Charlotte to go between shows. I think she's the perfect advocate to do that.
I think so too.
She grew up in NXT. Now she's the legend and the main card, and I just don't feel like she has any barriers in terms of where she can be successful.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yes,
I think she can
sense.
come to NXT totally casual, kick some ass, and then she goes back to the main card in her full regalia outfit, which her robe was awesome, by the way. I just want to highlight that. I'm like,
they're always awesome.
Whoever makes this stuff for her, it's just so well done. But she pulled it off. I think the match was fantastic. This might be one of my favorites of both nights 1 and 2.
Me too.
I also like that they started with this match. I only because I feel like night 2, the way I watched it, felt like night 2 was just a pickup of night 1.
Interesting. Okay.
Night 1 for me started off slow and really started to build as you got further into matches. Whereas night 2 kind of kicked off with a bang with this match and then kind of took that energy through the show.
Yeah, and I also liked that they have these montages between matches. So even if you aren't a religious WWE viewer, you know what's happening between the two.
Yeah,
so
it works.
In this case, it really worked.
Yeah.
Seeing Rhea Ripley as a blonde and looking more, I guess, feminine.
Yeah.
And saying, oh, people would compare me to Charlotte. I was like, I didn't see that angle, but it's very interesting that they would compare you to her and now you're fighting her. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Cool.
I thought it was very noticeable, obviously. Rhea came in with not her black, typical black outfit.
Yeah.
It was a very bright outfit.
Yes.
Everything was much brighter. Her hair was much brighter. I could see what they're trying to shoot for there. I thought that the move at the end that Charlotte put on her, the bridge.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
That thing sucks.
I'm like, what? I could barely do a bridge for 2 seconds. She held that thing for a minute.
Charlotte's just another form of athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a good match.
Good match. All right. Kind of sucks for these guys coming off right after that match. Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley. Ooh, I don't remember that match too well, to be honest with you, which might say a little bit of a lot for what I thought about it. It was okay.
Yeah, I thought they were formidable. I think that they're equal in terms of the way they wrestle. I don't know. I think it's hard to follow up after that women's match. Lana was there, obviously, as kind of trying to create the distraction for Lashley. But Aleister Black looked pretty good. I also think, is Black on the main card yet?
Yes.
He is, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just so tough to see him against Lashley, who's just huge.
Huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I always think outside of the wrestling ring, I feel like Black would just get demolished, but that could just be me, my opinion.
Yeah, but then we have Ricochet, who's also tiny, and
True.
he's making it because he's very acrobatic. So everyone has their kind of thing that distinguishes them, even though they're not exactly big, like Strowman Bowman, whatever.
Strowman, yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah. Okay, so next up we have the Otis versus Ziggler match. So leading up to this match was probably a very soap opera style vignette of Otis and Mandy kind of liking each other, Mandy being super hot, but there's just something about Otis and his tiny, tiny shirts that really get her going. But then Ziggler and Sonya devise a plan to mess things up. And so Otis and Ziggler have a match because Mandy's upset now that she found out that Sonya, texted using her phone. So there's all this drama going on, and Otis ends up winning with Mandy helping her out. We see the dismantling of Sonya and Mandy being best friends, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's kind of sad because they were best friends forever.
Right. Right.
And it gives something entertaining for Ziggler to do.
Exactly. That's probably all I could think of was like, okay, well, this pairing now will create a future storyline for the four of them. I think the match wasn't great, but I was looking forward to this match just because of Otis. I think he always pulls off his kind of big guy persona really well.
He does.
Cracks me up.
Right. The caterpillar.
His like caterpillar sizzling bacon type move. Yeah, that's just, it's so good. I just can't help but love the guy.
It's very, very you can't help but love the guy. You're like, wait, Mandy, but you know what? Okay, I see it.
Yeah. I don't know why, but they pull it off.
Like she straight says it too. She's like, I don't know. There's just something about him that makes him cute in his own way. I'm like, yeah, it's funny.
I believe them more so than I believe Lashley and Lana.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chemistry for sure.
And then they kiss. They finally have that kiss that everyone's been waiting for.
So cute.
It is cute. All right, next we have Edge versus Randy Orton, the last man standing match. This is when you get a tour of the Performance Center, right?
I know, you texted me that. That was funny.
This thing is so long. Great match. Really, really good. But I think it was a little too long.
It was.
Kind of too long.
You're right. You saw every inch of that place.
Yes, they milked it.
With the exception of the toilet. I know. You saw everything. The gym, I was like, oh, the gym is right there. That's interesting. You kind of got a lay of the land of where everything is in that Performance Center. I think what got me is that the ref would always have to count, right? Yeah. Because it's last man standing. So you're not doing a 3 count, you're doing a 10 count. And it was just every other minute was 1, 2, oh my God, how many times? So it made it just feel, it was a really long match to begin with, but then just having that countdown every few seconds was oh, this is a long match. But the guys went for it. They were blood, sweat, and tears by the end of it, super sweaty all over each other. What did you think of the ending, though, that Edge beat Orton?
I think that... who did I predict? I think we predicted Edge, right?
I think, we said we would love Randy, but we knew that Edge wasn't coming back to lose. Yeah.
And I predict he's going to just, I could be wrong, but retire now.
Yeah, I think so too.
It was good. I thought that the match was, I think the ending was okay, just could have ended 10 minutes earlier. Yeah. What did you think?
For what it was, too, I think it was pretty safe. Last man standing, you think, I hate to say it, but you think you're going to see a little bit of cuts,
That's a good point.
Kind
safe
of
is a good word.
Right. Barbed wire or whatever. They want pull out all the stops. But I don't know if that's just them trying to be careful considering Edge's history of injury. But they did play it safe for the most part. They tried to utilize the Performance Center, but they believe there was a lot more that they could have done.
Yeah.
To make it a little bit more, I don't know, you really felt, I wanted to feel crap, these guys are to the point of death by the end of the match.
I did feel a little bit of they're really hurting themselves, though.
They definitely looked exhausted.
They looked exhausted. I think, I was going to say Gronkowski. Orton looked a little, almost bloody.
Yeah.
A little bit, not too much.
Yeah.
But it was a very, I think safe is a good word that you used. It looked like a rated G
version of Last Man Standing.
That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
Righty. Then we have the 24/7 championship, which we mentioned a couple of times. Now Gronk has the championship. Interesting to see what's going to happen next. Obviously, he had to pin Raleigh.
Yeah,
Mojo's, his bestie. So there's obviously going to have something going on there. The stir has been created.
I think that's not. What do you think? Is this the last we're going to see of Gronk?
I don't think so.
Right? He's going to probably start to weave in and out of stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think so. Or he's really there to, get his fix of wrestling. I'm sure he was a fan, as they said, and probably might help Raleigh go over in some ways.
Yeah. I would love to see this stretch out. I wouldn't mind it stretch out if randomly they pop up on each other and pin each other and keep taking the belt from each other.
Right. Okay, so the next we got the Raw Tag Team Championship, Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory. So when the Street Profits won, I was thinking Anne is going to like this. We also have to mention, I think it was this one, that Bianca Belair came in. So I was like, oh, if she's there, are they moving her up on Monday?
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
It made you think. Because
would be great.
Right, because where would they put her in NXT anyway right now that there's Rhea and Charlotte? And she was pretty much the number one contender for the NXT championship.
Yeah.
So where would that place her? Maybe they just decided look, we're going to move you up to Raw. So I don't know what that means, but if she's out there in support of the Street Profits, it made me question what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think she deserves it. I think this was a nice subtle way to do that too, right? Without making it too awkward. I think I love the partnership. Yeah. I just do. I think they all have such great style. The match itself was okay. I thought it would be better.
Yeah.
But that was a highlight, was to see Bianca come out.
Yeah, I think that was right. It was the match was made to put her in her place in a positive way. And then we have the SmackDown Women's Championship. We have Bayley, who is the current champion, versus Sasha Banks, versus Lacey Evans, versus Tamina, versus Naomi. Wow, that's a lot of women in the ring.
That's a lot.
A lot of women. And Bayley ends up retaining by pinning Evans. Match was kind of long.
It was kind of long. I think the drama they were trying to stir up, they had an interview with Sasha and Bayley at the beginning.
Yeah.
Just trying to see, how Sasha felt about competing with her best friend. I thought that was actually going to be a little bit more hyped up.
Yes, I thought so too, but it didn't happen.
They ended up staying friends at the end. So
we'll see, because they keep falling out and going back in.
Right. I think we both picked Bayley to win, though, I thought.
Did we?
No, I picked Sasha. You might have had Bayley, so you probably
I might have picked Sasha because they love Sasha for some reason.
Right.
They love Sasha. All right, next match. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of yes and no's in terms of liking this match or not liking this match. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, a.k.a. The Fiend, in this funky first time ever Firefly Funhouse match. There wasn't a lot of wrestling, I'll tell you that.
No, there wasn't.
There wasn't a lot of wrestling, but this made sense to me, right? It's not a ring that looks like a funhouse. I was what is going to happen? It was Bray being the Fiend and having John Cena go through this funky journey of what's happening from thugonomics.
Yeah. Which is awesome to see
all these throwbacks and, NWO and I loved this match. This is exactly what you would want if you were going to be, what's the word? Not bullied, stronger word than that, but I'll use bully because I can't remember the word. If you were going to be tormented, that's the word, tormented by your opponent.
Yeah. No, that's a great word for it. That's a great word.
Yeah, it was good. What'd you think, Anne? I liked it.
Unlike night one, where the graveyard match, I saw the setting, I saw what they were doing from a production standpoint. I could not have predicted what they were going to do with this Firefly Funhouse match. I know you and I talked about it last week, that we thought, oh, this could be really fun because they're both great personalities. I think Cena's the perfect person to put in this type of match. I actually expected them to just utilize the Performance Center and like have crazy props and things like this. So when this started playing, I was a bit confused at first, but I got what they were going with. And it was really twisted and really dark. And I love that they leveraged Annabelle and that, like, there was that, like you said, torment is such a good word, being hunted by your opponent. They flash back to instances I can't even remember that they had, like 6 years ago that they had beef. Like, that was really cool that they brought all of these moments back to really tie the story. Like, this is almost like Marvel-esque.
Right.
Where in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, you start at point A, they know where they want to be at point B like 10 years later. Like, I know this is probably not the way WWE had mapped out this storyline, but it felt that way, that they might have been planning this moment 6 years ago to say, you guys are going to start here, then you're going to have this journey. Cena's going to go off, do his own thing. You know, Bray's going to find the Fiend and all these other personalities come back. You guys are going to culminate into what we watched last night. Yeah. To me, that's pretty incredible.
I think this is a case where not having a ring and an audience, again, worked to their advantage, where they had to get creative with what a Firefly Funhouse match was going to look like. No one expected this. Right? No. It was like a horror movie.
It was actually pretty creepy.
Yeah, it was great. Really good. And that's exactly like, it pushes Bray Wyatt to be the one where you're like, all right, yeah, whenever he comes out, he's going to be haunting our dreams. It just really worked. And the Fiend won, obviously.
He did. And I loved all the different looks. I love the throwback to like Saturday night. I thought Cena looks like in much better shape than he ever has before.
I was just like, are we watching a Rocky movie?
Right.
It's so odd.
Right.
He looks amazing. Yes.
All right. Good match.
Final match of the night for night 2, the WWE Championship. We got Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. This did not last very long, but Drew McIntyre won, to my surprise, I believe. And it's a great surprise.
Me too.
Great surprise.
Me too. I think we both expected that Brock was going to take it. I thought. I'd have to go back and look.
I think we thought, yeah.
We wanted Drew. We thought Brock, but we get Drew. It was a very nice moment.
And it takes him to the top.
Yeah.
The top of that pyramid. And I hope they utilize him correctly and well. I have faith. There's got to be a reason why they wanted to put him over like that.
Yeah.
Great match. It doesn't hurt Brock in any way. Nothing hurts Brock in any way.
Nah.
So, yeah, overall, I thought, and let's talk about this, overall discussions on what you thought about WrestleMania having 2 nights, not having an audience, and having to minimize the amount of personnel involved. What do you think, Anne?
I would say my overall stamp of approval is on what they did. I was very hesitant that WWE made the decision to move forward with having WrestleMania on the weekend, breaking it up into 2 nights instead of postponing it and having the audience. I didn't know what to expect, but I do think for what it is, they pulled off really good matches. Overall, I would give it an A+.
Nice. A+ is high.
I think in general, what's happening with coronavirus has forced a lot of us to kind of see how we can operate our respective personal lives or our businesses in this climate. WWE is one of those where you just wouldn't know how they could survive without an audience. And I still think they're having issues doing that. But with something as big as WrestleMania, it's made them step out of their comfort zone. They did some really theatrical type matches and production, which I appreciated. I thought that was very different for WWE. I'm sure it made Vince feel uncomfortable to even have to think about matches being displayed in that manner. But overall, I still thought it was entertaining. I do miss the audience, but for WrestleMania in this climate, I thought it was great. I mean, what about you?
I agree with you. I think that I didn't have very high expectations for WrestleMania and I thought, why would they make it 2 nights? But they needed those 2 nights to really convey every single match and storyline and character. And I think they did everything, with some minor exceptions, really, really well. So under this circumstance, I think it was a very entertaining 2-night event that alleviated us from a little bit of stress with what's going on with the coronavirus, to be honest with you. And it's nice to see that they acclimated to the conditions that we're living under right now, which is, self-isolation to some degree, where some of these people didn't even really have like your atypical match. Right. So, excuse me, that's my dog barking. I'm not barking, coughing. She's fine. So yeah, overall great. And I guess we'll come back next week and see what happens with the Monday Raw after WrestleMania as well as SmackDown and see how these superstars are going to be placed. Where they're going to be placed. What's going to happen with Charlotte. What's going to happen with, what's her name? Bianca Belair. Drew McIntyre. What's he
Drew
gonna look
McIntyre,
like?
yeah.
And
I this is kind of like the stretch, right, between
yeah,
WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Like, there's going to be a big chunk of time that now WWE has to carry this creativity and whatever they're doing right now, whatever this mojo is that they've got from WrestleMania, and hopefully carry that through. I really, really hope that people stay invested. I mean,
Me too.
We're diehard wrestling fans, no matter audience or not, whatever they're doing, if they have to fucking wrestle in a closet, that's fine too. But it's tough for everybody. So
virtual wrestling online,
right. I think all of us just got to hang in there, and it's really great that they're even trying to give us some content during this time, so that we don't feel so disconnected from the things that we love, including wrestling.
Yep. Well said, Anne.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up our wrestling smack talk about WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. Thank you guys for listening. Tell a friend about this podcast. I am Kaori Takei. You can follow me at KAORIOUS, Anne.
And you can follow me at Ann Campia.
And you can follow both of us at Team Amasian. And we'll catch you next time for some more wrestling talk. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Bye.